Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I see the chat is already lighting up. Thank you so much. Hello. I am Keyoka. I'm the Awkward Black Nomad. I'm a writer. I'm a dog mom. I am a solo traveler. My channel is for Black women who want to do the same things, who might be a little awkward, might be a little weird, might be a little introverted, but we still outside. Okay? Today is a little different. So every Friday, I usually go on live and we just kind of chat. I have a libation with me. This is coffee. Okay. I hope everybody is drinking something. Drink your water, stay hydrated, nourish your body. But every Friday we usually go live and we have a talk. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. But this Friday is a little different. We have some special guests here. I'll let them introduce themselves. Let me bring them on. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Keyoka. How's
Hello.
everybody?
Hi.
All right. This is weird because I can't see Stephanie.
So you
I
can't see Stephanie.
know. I've never been. No,
What do
I've
you
never been a
see?
guest on Ecamm Live. I use it, but I've never been a guest. It is weird. Hi. You told us to introduce ourselves. You
Yes.
said introduce ourselves. Hi, friends. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm co-founder of Exodus Summit. I am a house sitter. I have been a full-time traveler since 2015. Right for the last 3 years, I've spent half of the year in San Jose, Costa Rica. So that is becoming my home, and I'm super excited to be here today.
Hello, hello. I'm Roshida Dowe. I am the co-founder of Exodus Summit, and I have been living abroad for 5 or 6 years. I live in Mexico City, and I love it here. And I'm very excited to be here today with Keyoka because we're going to make some magic, some awkward magic.
Yay! I'm
Uh,
excited.
Excited too.
I
we're
can't.
excited. We know Keyoka. Keyoka always acts like we don't know her, but she's our baby sister.
Yes,
And
she is.
so we're super glad to be here. She's always like, "Oh, you want to talk to me?" I'm like, girl, please. Of course, we want to talk to you.
Okay, girl.
Don't
Okay.
embarrass me on my channel, please. It's different when I do it on your channels. But please don't come over here with the foolishness.
Oh,
Oh,
Just
like
saying.
when
okay.
you posted that photo, that live photo of us yesterday when we're taking it in South Africa, and you
Yeah.
are looking like we made you take that photo. And while, like, when it
No.
stops, but look at her face when the photo gets real still is like, like a pouty, And I was like, okay, maybe we made you take a photo, but you ain't got to post the pouty one.
But see, I thought you were gonna complain about me not using the photos that you guys sent because you sent those over, and I was like, mm-mm. I'm gonna prove myself. I have photos of and you know what? Honestly, Rashida, especially you, lucky I didn't post the one. I
say,
have I have
say it
some
with your chest.
choice. I have some
Say it with
choice.
your chest.
I have
Say
some
it.
choice pictures of you, ma'am. Just saying.
I don't know how. I don't know when. Impossible.
Just saying.
Impossible.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Impossible.
Impossible. All my photos are like glowing, sweet angel baby. So get it together. Get it
It's true.
together.
I will get it together
Kyoko's
as
like me.
the.
Kyoko's like me. I'm gonna use the picture where I look the best. I don't care what y'all look like. Okay? I look good in
Every
this picture. This is the picture we
Stephanie
use.
plays me every single time. If there's a photo of two of us, I have to actually check and make sure it is decent for
That's
usage
because
because
Stephanie
otherwise
looks.
Stephanie will be like, "Oh, I didn't even know what you look like. I didn't look at you. I looked at
I
me."
didn't
Stephanie looks good in
really do
every photo. Like in
Because
all
she
of the
only
ones that
posts
we took.
photos where she looks good.
No, no, it's
Uh-uh.
Kyoka. Kyoka was right. Kyoka's right.
Exactly. Exactly. That's, you know what? We're going in the right direction.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
As the host, I'm
Okay.
going to reel it in. Today we're talking about community, right? Because each of you have described yourselves as introverts, which I think is really strange. I don't know. I feel like maybe we need to redo a personality test or something. But you're also like the leaders of what some people would say is a cult, but this mega following of Black women who want to travel and live abroad. right? So, what's the
Yeah.
journey from I'm an introvert, I don't like talking to people, to now all I do is talk to people?
It's
I would
kind of YouTube's fault, I think. Part of it is the fault of YouTube because YouTube is super introvert friendly. You are just talking to yourself on a camera, and you don't have to have other people and other feedback and other whatever. But we happen to talk a talk separately and individually that really resonates with Black women. When we start talking our talk, Black women are like, "Oh, me too." And so it did form community really quickly and really solidly for us, even though we're two people who like to be in the house, right? And by ourselves a lot of the time.
I would also say that what you see, like on our most active week, maybe you see us 10 hours a week talking to people, right? Super active at it. But there's a lot of other hours in the week where you don't see me, where I am not speaking to anyone, right? And so it's not, there's still plenty of time for introversion, plenty of time to be at peace, be alone, be with myself, recharge with that solo energy, and then, get back on and talk to Keyoka at 9 in the morning.
And we
Yeah.
appreciate your labor.
Sometimes that's one thing about it though, is because it's community, it doesn't feel like labor. Most of the time. Sometimes it feels like labor, but most of the time it does not, because it really is just like talking to people we like and trying to like help people we like, and trying to get people to do what we want them to do.
Yeah.
Yes. And speaking
Yay.
of things that we want people to do, can you explain to the channel a little bit about what Exodus Summit is? Either
I can't
either
tell.
one of you.
Okay. Exodus Summit is a online event. This is our fifth year hosting it, our fifth official summit. It is 4 days long this year, October 11th through 14th. And it is an online virtual summit that is intended to help you move abroad faster. So it's for Black women and families. If you're a Black woman, you can attend. Your family can be in the background. I'll go send them somewhere else. And in that 4 day event, you're going to learn so many things and get so much information and contacts and new friends that will really shorten the time span it takes you to meet your goal, if your goal is moving abroad, whether that's a temporary move or a long-term move.
That's right. If you would like to leave the country and expedite that plan, speed that plan up, even if the plan is like just a wish right now, even if it's not a plan, then you should be at Exodus Summit 2024, and you should use Keyoka's link to register for Exodus Summit 2024. She's got a link in the chat already. And replay gang, hello friends in the future. When you watch the replay, the link will be in the description. Use Keyoka's link to register, because that is also a way to thank her for the work that she does on this channel and for the community that she builds on this channel, being her own introverted self. Yeah, Exodus Summit. If you want to move abroad or spend significant time out of the United States, uh, even if you don't think it's exactly possible right now, you should be at Exodus Summit. We have a history. This is our fifth year. We have a history of women showing up who are like, I'm interested, but I don't know. And next thing we know, next update we hear from them is, oh, I have residency in Panama. I now am in Mexico. I live in Rwanda, right? Like out the door. We get women out the door.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just for women who live in the US, no matter where, like we have a lot of people from England who attend, people from other places. If you want to get out of wherever you are, we're going to give you tools and tips, because it doesn't really matter. Most of the time, it doesn't really matter where you come from. It matters like where you're going, if that makes sense. Like we're going to talk about things like visas. For most of the conversation, it's not going to really matter where you're coming from, because while not every passport is going to be treated the same, getting to the information, you get to it the same way, right? So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So, what's some of the things that people can look forward to when they join the summit? Like, what kind of speakers do you guys have lined up?
We're going to talk about things like getting a remote job, right? so that you can be anywhere in the world. We're going to talk about schooling your kids. If you have school age kids, different options to make sure that your kids can be educated. You don't have to put off your move abroad until your kids are grown ups. We're going to talk about residency, different residency options around the world. We're going to talk about house sitting as a way to get into a new place, try out some neighborhoods, and not pay, right? Get free accommodation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're also going to
Okay,
talk a lot
cool.
about healthcare, health insurance, that kind of thing. We're going to talk about getting to the money, right? How much money you actually need versus how much money you think you need, and figuring out, because that's I think the thing that makes people move the quickest. I had actually a one-on-one session with a client yesterday whose plan was to move abroad in 2030. And when we started talking about what the actual expense of her life could be, as opposed to the like what you think it might be, we got to 2025. Like, you can move next year. It's fine. Like, you'll have enough money to move next year as opposed to waiting 6 years. So it's just like
Yeah,
that. That's the kind of stuff that can speed up your journey if you're willing to come and be open to it.
that's right.
I was laughing not because her goal was so far away. I just can't believe we live in a world where 2030 is reachable. If that makes sense.
She said that, and I was like, "That's how many? Oh, that's closer than I think." Like, 2030
Oh,
sounds crazy, but that's
2030.
not that far.
It sounds like futuristic. Like we'll be there in no time.
no
Mm-hmm.
time, won't we? Yes. I don't know what's
Yes,
happening.
life.
Yes, I
Keyoka,
do have an affiliate link in the. I'm sorry, Stephanie. What'd you say? Oh,
no,
I was
go
gonna
ahead. I
say
have a terrible delay.
I do have an affiliate link in the comment section. It will also be in the description of this video. Please check it out. Also, as you come into the room, please like the video. Please drop down in the comments, and let me just know that you're here. Just say hi. You know, Black people, we speak when we come into the room. You know, just greet us. Um, what were you gonna say, Stephanie?
I wanted to talk to you about community a little bit because you've done such a great job of forming community through Exodus Summit on your own. So I want to talk to you about that. Like, was that a strategic plan? Is that something that you planned? Because you have friends. Sometimes I'll be seeing you on the internet, and I'm like, how does Keyoka know this person? How
Mm-hmm.
does Keyoka know? I know this person, and I know Keyoka, but how does Keyoka know this person? So
Mm-hmm.
you're
What
doing
you
some
mean you be
community
seeing me
building
on
too.
the internet? First of all, I don't be getting into anything.
I see
Okay,
you.
I
I be seeing you. I
just
see your chats, and I see you and other people's chats, right? And I see comments and stuff, and I'm like, oh, how do they know each other? You're doing some community building too, as a quote
I
unquote awkward introvert.
yes. So the first time I met you guys was in London of last year. I want to say it was like early April or end of March. And Rashida pulled me up out of my seat and was like, sit next to this person, exchange numbers. You need to exchange numbers with at least one person before you leave here tonight.
Okay. Can we add some context up to that, please? What did you say to me before that?
I don't remember. I
Something
don't, I
about,
don't even
oh,
remember what you did. I don't remember
I know
what I did.
exactly, exactly. You were like, yeah, no, I just showed up. I don't think I've met anybody. I don't really meet
Oh,
people. I'm just gonna sit here and then I'm gonna leave. And I was like,
What is the
quit
voice?
playing in my face. Quit
I know
playing.
that's
Why are
not how
you?
you sound. That's not how you
I have
Why
a
are
very
you?
melodious voice. You know,
Why are you?
Yvonne McBride is on this broadcast. She told me I should narrate books because I have such a nice
sound.
voice.
Oh, no, it's my fault.
You
Okay.
did.
It's my fault, but I can't match your voice. But is that what you said?
I don't recall. It doesn't
Okay.
really, I
Because
don't
what's the
recall.
point of going to a meetup and not meeting anybody? You just
Fair.
like to drink some food?
Fair. Right?
Like,
Fair.
what are you doing? What are you?
Fair. But
Community.
I'm happy you did, right? Because in that meeting, I met Zolani, who is in my
Mhm.
YouTube accountability group. She has a channel, Black Flourishing and Free, and she's one of my really good friends. And that's what I love about the Exodus Summit community is we're meeting each other virtually or in person, and we're working across, So like we're finding each other's skills and we're using it to like produce something or to just grow stronger as friendships. Like if I'm traveling abroad somewhere, I can tap into that vein and be like, I'm in Costa Rica, like who's here from the Exodus Summits community, and instantly I have a sister girl, somebody to like take me out to dinner, somebody to take me to coffee, somebody who knows the streets because y'all be outside.
Have you been doing it?
It sounds like you be
Yes.
outside. It sounds like you be outside, Keyoka.
I don't know. I've
When
been
I go to
stateside
these
for a
different
while.
countries, I can find there's always because you're always outside.
But that's why you need community. Or at least that's why I need community. I think having this community has helped me come out of my shell a little bit. Because it's just easier to talk to people. Because I mean,
Hmm.
we at least have a common interest, right? We're both Black women. We're both interested in traveling.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the starting point, right? That's the starting point. A lot of the people that we come into, a lot of the people that are our friends in the previous world were friends because we went to the same school or we went to the same church or whatever. Not necessarily people you had interest with, or not necessarily people who you've grown with, right? So it's nice to meet people, and it's nice to have a place where you can meet people who at least one thing you're going to have in common with them, no matter what other, what their background is, no matter what else you may have, you know, not in common with them. It's really nice to
Hmm.
walk into a room, virtual room or a real in-person room, because we do meet in the real life, in the real world too. Nice to walk into a room and know there's people in there who get something about you that maybe other people don't get.
And also, I mean, when I told my friends and family that I was thinking about traveling abroad for a year, I think
Mhm.
only one person was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea," but everybody else was like, "For what? What do you got?" Like
Yeah.
people are only able to counsel you or support you within their frame of reference, right? So like if I'm doing something that nobody else has done before, they don't look at me like I'm crazy. And a lot of my friends looked at me like I was crazy. They were like, "You
And
can
you
bring your
did it.
dogs with you." And I did it anyway. I did it anyway because I had community, because I had people to reinforce me and say, like, that's not crazy. It's
It's not
actually not
crazy.
crazy. I've done it.
Hmm.
That's right. Yeah, so
Mm.
you've been in the Exodus Summit squad for like a year and a half now? Two
Yeah,
years maybe?
yeah, about 2 years. About two
Yeah.
years. And I've met some amazing ladies. I've met some amazing ladies internationally as well. Like, um, it's funny because I think every time I meet a Black woman overseas, I'm like, "Are you in Exodus?" And they're like, "Yeah, I am." They're like, "Yeah, I am." That's like when we were in Morocco, and it was like you see a Black woman on the street. She came there for the Exodus meetup. There was no other reason that there's Black women here.
Which is funny because when I
So
travel now,
absolutely.
they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay, all right, bye. So I'm glad that at least when you're out there, you're seeing people who are part of the squad and you're giving them big hugs and exchanging information and staying friends forever, right? Close enough. I'll take that as a yes.
I'm saying hi.
Okay.
I'm saying hi. Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
do you see that
I
comment from Angela Rochelle? Keyoka has too many outside stories for us to believe she doesn't go outside. Look at that logic.
Sometimes I feel like Angela is the ops. She's a friend in my head,
Uh,
but she's very
Hmm.
nice.
Kelly questions agrees with her. Yvonne agrees with her. I feel like either you got a lot of ops or you are being a little delusional, a little deluded. Which one is it?
don't know. I don't want to answer any of these questions. So why was it so important? Why was it so important for you guys to build this community of Black women?
Black women have, well, first of all, Black women are the best people. We've been all over the world, and so we are
Ooh.
qualified to say Black women are the best people. And it's amazing to be surrounded by the best people. It's nice to be um, like in community with people who are the best people. I don't know. Being in a community with Black women and having a place for Black women only has elevated our lives, right? Inside of this space. I'm not saying we don't, I'm not saying that we are not in community with anyone else, right? But it has elevated our lives, having this place for Black women only. We got to see it start and grow, and it's amazing. And we're geniuses. We're geniuses.
Brilliant. But I will say that when we started, we didn't start this with the idea that we were going to create a community. We wanted, there was something with a start date and an end date, and that was going to be it. But then the community was like, I wish you would stop it. I wish you would close the group. And we were like, oh, you need more work. Oh, so yeah, our community told us that they wanted to be in community with each other, and we best not get in the way. And so we were like, oh, okay, see what happens. And then it's just
That's right.
continued to grow, and it's my favorite place on the internet, the Facebook group. And then this time of year, summit season is my favorite time of year because we really get to talk to so many women who are changing their lives, are changing the trajectory of their families' lives, are influencing their friends, and are setting a shining example of like love and joy around the world. So,
That's right.
Love and joy.
That's right.
mhm.
So in talking to people, what do you feel like is the biggest thing that's holding a lot of women back
From moving abroad or in
from
general?
moving abroad?
Really holding them back, or what they think is holding them back?
Both.
Really holding them back, I would say
I
it's probably, go ahead, Stephanie.
Oh, I'm sorry about the delay. I'm sorry, Keyoka. I tried, y'all know I
Oh,
tried to
you're
fix
okay.
it. I think that not like making up your own story of this, how hard it's going to be and what you need and what you don't have. And right, that is the biggest struggle because you have most of the women who have just thought about moving abroad have also thought about 20 reasons it's not going to work for them.
Hmm.
And just decide that that's a stop sign. I think that's the biggest thing holding them back. The difference between us, the three women you see right in front of you right now, and a woman and anyone else who has also wanted to go abroad for a long period of time but hasn't done it, is just that we took a step and then another step. Instead of saying, here are the 20 reasons, and so I got to stop, we said, here are the 20 reasons. Okay, now let's find a solution to this. Let's remove this reason entirely. Let's find a workaround for this, right? I think that that's a good,
Hmm.
like, differentiator.
And how I would have answered that question is I would have said the thing that is truly holding them back is fear. But I think that goes into what Stephanie said. Like there's a lot of fear around making such a large change, or what seems like such a large change, which may not actually be that big once you get down to it. Um, and so people create the stories of like, why Keyoka could do it, but why I can't? Why someone else can do this, but why I can't? And it's really hard. I think sometimes it's really hard for people to see that they're doing that. Um, and so they don't really know, they don't even see that it's happening. I would say the thing that they tell themselves is the reason they can't do it a lot of times is, I would say a lot of times it's just money. Either how is the money going to come? Will I be spending all my money? Black women hate to see money leaving their account without any new money coming in. Hate it.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll do anything in the world to not have it happen. But, and even people who don't have to worry about it, like you have enough money to take care of yourself for years. If you lower your expenses, whatever, and they're still like, but what about the money coming in? And I'm like, what about a break? What about taking some time for yourself? But it's really hard to get past the money is the story that comes up most often, but it's the fear, I would say, that pushes that money story to the top.
Mhm.
And I think
Keyoka,
introducing new perspectives just helps with that, like positive reinforcement, but also like, hey, there's just another way that we could go about this.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. What was it like for you, Keyoka, when you were thinking about spending significant time abroad? What were the things? Did you come up with your own roadblocks?
Oh, yeah, I had a meltdown. Like the night before my flight, I had a flight to Ireland and I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm I'm homeless because I gave my apartment up. Like my dogs are gonna be traumatized. I'm gonna lose my job. I can't do this. I'm gonna be on a different time zone. I have a little cousin who's like the only kid in our family, and at the time he was 5 or 6, and I was like, he's not gonna remember me. He doesn't know who I am. I'm gonna like it was every single thing. I'm never gonna get married. I'm never gonna find love. This is a terrible decision. But you like, I always struggle with this word, catastrophize, and it's like every possible scenario that could go wrong, and it takes a great mental shift and a consistent effort to think about what could go right.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately,
Yeah.
I had already bought the ticket, so I was just like, I'm not gonna lose out on this money. I bought the ticket, I bought the accommodation. The thing that helped me the most was my aunt was like, you're not going to outer space. We'll get you back home. Like she was
Okay.
like, push comes to shove, we can just go home. You can go home. That's it. You always have somewhere to land.
That's right.
That's nice.
Oh,
It's nice
Yeah.
thanks,
having that
thanks to your
backup
aunt.
plan. Having that backup plan really helps, even when you don't need it. And you didn't need it, did you?
No. I mean, and I also set little milestones. So there were concerts that I wanted to attend, Beyonce. Also Luke Combs
Mhm.
in what was that? That was October in Denmark. So I was like, okay, I have to get to October in Denmark because I bought tickets for this concert. I have to get to Spain in June because I have to see Beyonce. Like there were these little milestones that kind of helped me along the way. If I chickened out, if I wanted to go back home. So yeah.
That's a really good plan. That's a really good way to push yourself out the door. It's really hard to do something completely, totally different. It's really hard and it's really scary. And when you're only listening to people who have already done it, especially if they've already done it years ago, they don't talk a lot about that fear and the scariness of it. And so when you feel that fear and the scariness, you start to think, oh, this is wrong. I'm doing it wrong, or it's wrong for me and I shouldn't do it. So giving yourself one milestone after the next to help you get yourself out the door and stay out the door is a really smart strategy. That's a really good way to keep going. I had some milestones like that. I wanted to be in Thailand for the Loy Krathong Festival. I wanted to go to the Philippines for I wanted to be in Vietnam for Tet, and then I wanted to go to Philippines for their Sinulog Festival. And that helped me make sure I got out and stayed out, And by the time I before I got to the first event, I was like, oh yeah, this is the life. Okay, no going back. Thank you.
That's the crazy part. Once you go out and you've been out for an extended period of time, that's why I'm like a heavy proponent of slow matting because you need to be gone for long. Like doing 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, 1 week, whatever, is not enough time to be away from the US. You need like a long, extended period of time to get adjusted to a new place. Your body almost needs to completely not shut down, but like let go of all that stress that you didn't realize you were carrying around and
That's right.
see who you are in a place where, you're treated like a human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
People aren't following you around. Well, I mean, they might be following you around because they're not used to seeing black people, but not because they think you're going to steal or they think you're like a criminal or something like that. It's different. It's a different perception, and it really broadens up how you see the world and how the world also sees you. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. So, how has your worldview changed? Tell us.
I feel like I've divested from hustle culture
Okay.
just because when I mean, UK is probably a bad example, but when you go to the UK and about 3 o'clock, everybody outside and they're just like drinking, or you find out, how many days they get of leave, like they can take off 30 days to go travel somewhere. When you realize that like everything is accessible, like you could, I had a chiropractor when I was in Albania who would see me for like $10 an appointment, and things are just more accessible. Transportation is just easier to get onto. There's not, you know, I think I've grown. I think the way I see myself as a Black American now has changed. Like I'm having like shifts in my identity. Um, because I would say before, I guess obviously I'm an American, but before traveling, I probably would have never self-identified as an American. I just didn't
Oh,
Hmm.
conceptually connect those dots, because I never felt a closeness to America, if that makes sense. So like, but then when you start traveling
yeah.
and people are constantly asking you to orient yourself, like, well, where are you from? No, but really, where are you from? And you're like, oh, I guess I am American. I also am American in the way that I think in a lot of ways, like the way that I talk, I'm just identified as an American. And in a lot of places that holds weight, that holds value, which
Hmm.
I had never known that it was valuable to be an American, because in America, to be Black is not necessarily seen as a good thing. But then you get over to different countries and there's this perception like, oh, Black Americans are cool. Like they have Jay
Yeah.
Z, they have Kendrick Lamar, whatever. Like like our culture precedes us. So we go over to different countries and they're like, oh, I like Black Americans, or at least I like Americans, or I think Americans have money, whatever that is. You go over to different countries and people assume things about you, and they're not
Hmm.
necessarily bad.
Yeah.
I did a lot
That's
of
right.
talking. I
And
hope it made
yeah.
sense. Like,
You made sense. You made sense. It reminds, but the first thing you said about them being outside at 3 o'clock reminded me of when I went to Scotland this year, and it was, I don't remember which one of the cities I was in, but it was kind of dreary a lot of the days. The first fully warm, sunny day I saw, I think people just didn't go to like, either they went to work and then they left, or they didn't go to work at all because every single outdoors table was full of people drinking beer. And I was like, it was so noticeably different than like the gray days. And I was like, and y'all not like it just culturally, they were like, the sun is outside, so we're outside. And I thought about how different that is, like, especially if you live in like a place that has a bad winter here in the US, your boss don't care if you get one sunny day, you still need to be at work, right? And like the idea that like every single human was outside enjoying the sun was like, oh, this is a cult. Like I'm not used to this, right? Even though I've lived in a place with a lot of gray days, and your sunny days, you're still not gonna see the sun because you're inside from morning in the office from morning till night. And it was a really nice way to like see how other cultures do things.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing about slavery, it seeped into all parts of American culture. Okay. Everything that we do is a result of this nation being founded on the slave trade. And that includes every individual person inside of the country being viewed as a worker and not as a person, right? Not as a person who has a life, who has interests, as a person who should get some sun, right? As a person who should get some health care, as a person who might enjoy arts and crafts and education, and right? No, worker only, first, last, and in between. And that is the thing that really jumped out when I first got out of the US for that long period of time, that year in 2015, that's the first thing that jumped out at me. Oh, these are people. These people are people, not workers. I've been viewed as a worker, and I've even treated myself as a worker. But these people are people. This family is a family. They're out here at 10 p.m. eating dinner with the kids, everybody, right? This is a different approach to humanity. And that is the thing that really stood out to me and changed in me. Why I can't go back. It's why I won't be a person who lives in the US, right? Because I don't want to, go back to that. I like being a whole person. Thank you.
I like what you said, a different approach to humanity. Like that is so true. Even because you can tell even the way
It's true.
that cities are structured, right? Like there's more communal spaces, there's more opportunities to socialize in a way. Um, and then also like things are closer together so you can walk and you're interacting with people. I think also that plays into why I'm a little bit more extroverted now, is because when you're on the ground, you're walking around having contact with humans. Whereas, like, in the US, you're probably in your car a lot. So you're leaving your house, getting into your car, and then going to like a single destination. Whereas I was in Europe, you would leave your house, interact with people, walking around, getting on public transportation, and then you would also go to a place and interact with other people, right? So you're constantly socializing, you're constantly
Mhm.
building community, even if they don't know who you are, even if you're just like that American chick who lives in the yellow house, people recognize you, they see you, and sometimes silently they're looking out for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, please put them in the chat. I see a lot of activity in the chat. I'm very happy about that. Please like the video. I do have a link to the Exodus Summit in the comment section and also in the description box. Um, I wanted to go back to this. Bahan Alpha says, a friend told me years ago to ask yourself, but what if it all goes well, and to focus on that. And it helps me out a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't ask,
I
don't
read a
ask
book
what if
called
it
The
all goes
Mountain.
wrong.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I read
I
a book
read
called The
that
Mountain
book.
is View. She changed my life, Brianna. Okay, I'm gonna read it about 6 times before the year's over. Okay, she said that that mindset is just incomplete thinking, and it kind of changed my approach to things. Right, that here's what could go wrong. You're just incomplete. You're just not complete the thought. Go ahead and complete the thought. You get stuck at one point. Here's what could go wrong, and then you don't finish the thought. Well, how likely is that? What are my past experiences? What other examples do I have that this may not go wrong? What have I seen go right? What do I want to go right? Right? That anxiety about things is just not finishing the thought. And that's really helped me approach things differently. I'm not a super anxious person anyway, like it's gonna work out. I'm old enough to know that they're gonna work out. But even still, there are times when I get stuck in that, like, here's what's going to go wrong, and here's why this isn't going to work. And so she's teaching me through that book to think it through, finish the thought, don't get stuck.
Yeah. I'm reading that book too. Very good. Very good. Just introduces new ideas. Very good. Brown Girls Invest too. Hi D. She said, what gave each of you your first your very first push to make your moves? Your moves abroad, I'm assuming.
I'll go.
Unemployment.
I'll go first. I Go ahead, Rashida.
I had no job. I didn't have a job. I lived in a high cost of living place, and it was like I could stay here. I could stay here to try to get another job so I can afford to live in this place, or I go on a long vacation and see what happens. And it wasn't even like it was, I think there was a lot of like I was burnt out. I was probably depressed. And it was like, I can't go through it. Like, I mentally can't go through a job search right now. So, like, what if I just left it all behind and came back later to deal with it? I thought I was putting my life on pause instead of realizing that I was building a new life. So, yes. unemployment, not like unemployment money, but like just the act of being unemployed. I was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
why not?
I, I saw my mom work until 65 and then retire and then try to do all the things that she wanted to do in a 65-year-old body, right? And I was like, I think I want to try to do things now. Let me see what retirement is like now, right? At 41 instead of 65 or 72 or whatever. Let's try it out now and see. Because you can always go back. You can always go back. If I need a job, I can get a job. And so I started just with the gap year. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm a different person now. So now I have to live in a different country. I can't go back and live in the old country as the new person. I don't fit
Mhm.
there anymore. So it was a nice push.
I'm there now, Stephanie. I'm trying to be
Yeah,
retired at 31.
yeah.
So do it,
I'm
do it.
tired of work.
So let's talk it through. Let's talk it through. So you're back in Texas after spending how long out of the country?
Yeehaw. A little over a year. So I came back in Texas in
Okay.
April, and it's just not, just not. I don't know. I think it's the same thing you said, like trying to go back to a new place when you're a or go back to the same place when you're a different person. It's just not working. Like my whole brain doesn't even, my mindset doesn't even line up with people anymore.
Yeah. Give us some
Yeah.
examples, please.
Um, so nobody wants to hear about my travels. And I think, I don't know if part of it is the impracticality of it or the perceived impracticality of it. You know, people thought that I was on a long vacation,
Mhm.
and not like, which is very different than actually living in countries for 1 to 3 months. Very different. Um, so I feel like I'm kind of received as like a flippant person, like a not serious about life. There's a lot of people asking me when I'm going to buy a house, why am I not settling down? Um, I can't eat the same food. I actually got very sick when I first came back to the US because I think my body got used to not eating such heavily processed food. Um, because I came from Albania. I was in Albania for 3 months in this stint, and then I came back to the US. And so, like, just having fresh fruits and vegetables, bread made by somebody's grandma, things like that, walking everywhere, to having like a mostly sedentary lifestyle now. Just lots of changes. Another thing was I am starting to get that tension back in my shoulders. I don't know where it came from. It's settling in. I'm like, I remember the last time I talked to you, Rashida, you were like, remember this feeling because you were like, in 6 months, you're gonna not remember what it feels like to not be stressed out, to not be like have your own time to yourself, to be free. Um, and I think I'm in that place where like I'm starting to kind of like get the shakes. I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of here. Like this space is not good for my body. It's not good for my mental health. So yeah.
Are there
Yeah,
things
I
that you
see.
do right now that would make it a little bit easier for your mental health? Like, are there things that you are not doing that you yourself could be doing to make your time in America better for you? Like, could you do some of the things you were doing in Albania? Like, if you were walking more, is that something you could do
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Could you know
Cooking
what I mean?
more. I've been cooking more. I've been being more intentional with the ingredients I'm getting.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Probably, I think so. It's different because maybe because I was in a new city or in a new country, I would be intentional about the things that I was doing. So I would create a schedule. Okay, I want to go to this museum. I want to see this exhibit. I want to go to this concert. So maybe I could be doing more of that in my own city. Um, and trying to experience it with new eyes instead of like, ugh, I
Hmm.
already know what this is gonna be like. Ugh.
Right. It's
It's
not
it's
easy.
just harder to be whole in a broken environment. It's not you, right? It's not you, Keyoka. It's the environment. It's the country, okay?
Mhm.
Especially your
Yeah.
state, girl, right? It's not you.
And
I see Aileen. Go ahead.
but yes, especially this state. Reed Bloomroom says we're seen as workers and not consumers. Workers and consumers, not humans and citizens. Very true. Very true.
That's right. That's right. I see Aileen Brown says they're hating on the fact that you did something they want to do. I don't know. I think what it is, people, when you go and take a year and travel and come back, people are really excited for you, but they expect you to come back the same and they expect you
Yeah.
to fall back in line. It's not necessarily they're hating on something that they wish they had done. Because I found when I came back, people were really glad that I did it. And they were really happy for me and they loved seeing the journey and right. But then, okay, but like you said, okay, but buy your house, go get you a master's degree or another master's degree or right, fall back in line, please.
Yeah.
That's the tension. It's not necessarily about you having done the thing. It's about them not understanding the change, not understanding what you've seen and the what how you've put the United States way of living in perspective that they haven't yet. I
Right.
don't think it's hating.
Yeah. Um, Even this concept of like how I said I want to be retired now is heinous. Like, how dare you in your youth say that you don't want to labor for this great nation? But it's like I'm already exhausted. The idea that you're exhausted and you haven't worked to the bone. I've been told so many times, like, oh, your generation is lazy. Your generation doesn't want to work.
I
I
think
don't know what to say to that.
a lot of that is people only know what they've been through, and it doesn't make sense to them that you can opt out. Because if you can opt out, why couldn't they opt out? Right? And so it's I used to one of the law firms I worked at, the head of a department was terrible. And he was like, I've been teaching people how to do this stuff. Like, you don't know anything as a baby lawyer. So he's like, we'd come in and it would be on him. He's the head of a department to teach us stuff. And he'd be like, oh no, like, I'm not teaching anybody anything anymore. I've had to learn some things on myself too. You guys have to do it too. And it's like, so you had a bad experience, so we have to have a bad experience too. And I think some
Mm.
people are just in that mindset of like, I hated working for 30, 40, 50 years. So now you get to hate working for 30, 40, 50 years. And if you don't, then like you cheated the system and it's not fair to me. I've seen, not everyone, but I've definitely seen some people take it personally, even when they don't know me. Like, I don't even know you, and you're mad that I'm not working the way you want me to work.
We don't have to talk about it, but like men are really like that too. Like a lot of men are like, "Oh, you travel by yourself? Why? What made you do that? So you've been to all of these countries, so you think you're a big shot now. Should I not?"
And that's what activism is for women. Because, we can't control what men are going to think, what they're going to do as they interact with women, but we can create a safe space for Black women to live their dreams without hearing other people tell them that their life will not be complete if they don't X, Y, or Z. No one in Exodus Summit is
Yeah.
asking you, can you cook? Right? Like, we don't care because we don't eat either way, right? Like, so,
Rashida's housekeeper is at her place.
right now, that's why I keep muting.
Mhm.
Can you cook is such an aggressive question now. Like, but that's what I love about the Exodus Summit community because nobody is going to call you crazy. Nobody is going to tell you that you're aiming too high. It's really a safe space.
That's right.
Hmm.
And definitely not a cult. Thank you.
Not a cult.
Definitely not a cult. And some people are married in the. It's a lot of women. It's a
It,
lot of women. Like there's just.
we love women with husbands who are supportive and wonderful, and children, and without, and it's a safe space for every Black woman, no matter how she shows up. Um,
Yeah.
we just don't center certain people. We always keep the center of our focus on Black women, and because of that, the whole thing is kind of threatening to a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
why is this centered on you? Which the back end of that is, why aren't you doing labor for me? Why
Right.
won't you do
That's right.
this labor for me for free? Um,
Mm.
and so it's just, it's fine. We have to keep the focus on Black women getting free, um, because Black women being free does more for our community than anything else could possibly. You know what I mean? Like, because we grow everything, right? Like everything we touch, we multiply. And so if we're free, we're helping somebody else get free, right? We're not pulling up the ladder behind us. You are telling your friends what your experience is like. And one day, one of them is going to be like, I remember what Keyoka said 15 years ago, and I'm going to do it now, right? What else can we do?
Yeah.
Ooh, where am I going to be in 15 years? Exciting.
Hmm.
No, but that's very true. Like, I always know if I'm out overseas somewhere that if I meet an Exodus Summit lady, like they're gonna have my back. It's
Hmm.
instant connection. Just because I know that a black woman is more likely to help me than to harm me.
Hmm.
That's right. That's right.
Hmm.
The best people, we're qualified
Best
to say.
The best people.
people, the best people, the ones you want in your corner.
Yeah.
But we actually I don't know that I've ever heard this story. How did you guys link up and decide to take over the world? How did you meet?
I'll let you tell it,
I
Steph.
made Rashida be my I made her, I forced Rashida to be my friend.
You do that a
We
lot.
both were Instagramming. Yeah, 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 yeah. We both were Instagramming and YouTubing our sabbaticals. And one woman followed us both, Courtney. And she said, y'all should meet, right? Just like Rashida did for you and Zolani. Somebody did that for me and Rashida. And Courtney gave us each other's contact information and we met. Rashida interviewed me on her YouTube channel. And then I liked her. So speaking of community, right? We're talking about community today. I when I talked to Rashida in the live stream, just like, it wasn't a live stream, it was pre-recorded, but the recording just like this, my laptop battery died. I think it was probably the first time anybody had ever interviewed me. My laptop battery died in the middle. Um, I wasn't in the right location for filming things, right? And she was very relaxed. And she even said during the video at some point, life is generous. And I was like, oh, she's my people. You know, I'm a specific type of person. And there are a lot of people who don't get along with me, right? Because I am, some people would say, laid back to a fault. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I like to do as little as possible. And I saw that, I recognized that in Rashida, at least the appreciation for that, right? Because she did do some work. She did do some things to get the video together, but she wasn't like sending me 18 reminders and, all of that stuff. I was like, oh, I found my people. So we made a YouTube series together. We started Exodus Summit together. We made money together before we ever met in the real world. Before we'd ever met, we put together this life changing space, this life changing event and community for people. And all of our communication had been just like this, screen to screen.
Hmm.
Community is about putting yourself in the position to receive, to give and receive. You have
Hmm.
to open up a little bit and put yourself in a position for people to recognize them, like recognize the spark in you, right? I recognize that spark in Rashida, that light, that givingness, that ease, right? But it's about putting yourself a little bit out there so that somebody can see it, recognize it, and then, call it in.
Hmm.
Mhm. I think also for introverted people, like that's a little difficult to do, right? Like show people the good things about you. It's kind of you're almost a little hesitant to be your full self, to kind of embrace who you are.
Are you hesitant to do that on a one-on-one basis?
Probably not.
I think some of that is just like identifying the initial, like Stephanie said, identifying the initial thing and then going a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit more open and a little bit more open. Um, but like as someone who is an introvert, have have a really hard time making friends with people who are closed off. I really, really hard time. Because, girl, what are you hiding from me? Like, and you may not even be hiding something from me, right? It may just be that you are closed off, but you're not giving me anything to work with. I don't, right? And so that is something I struggle with where eventually I usually just be like, okay, I've tried, goodbye, right? Like, and so being open and trusting that like the universe is going to send you your people requires some of that openness, right? It's like a two-way street. Like to build trust, you have to be open, and to be open, you got to build a little trust. So, just bit by bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people are
Brene
closed
Brown
off.
calls.
Brene Brown.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Brene Brown, she calls vulnerability a superpower. And it really is. Being able to be vulnerable, put yourself in position to potentially have something go wrong, right? We talked about that already. Being able to put yourself in that position is also putting yourself in position for everything to fall into place, for
Mhm.
everything to go right, for everything to be elevated. It really is an incredible skill to learn. I think that there are people who are naturally more open and vulnerable, and then there are other people who have learned it because they've seen in the past how it works out.
Mm, yeah.
Mhm.
And one of the ways you can be vulnerable is by getting your ticket to Exodus Summit, introducing these new ideas, new concepts, changing your mindset to be able to live the life of your dreams, really. It doesn't have to be a wish, it doesn't have to be something you always wanted to do, but whatever is holding you back, whatever fear that's holding you back, it doesn't have to be something that keeps you in place. You can actually move past it by surrounding yourself with beautiful women who will encourage you, give you ideas, give you tips to go abroad. And
Mhm.
whatever else you want to do. Maybe it's start a
Hmm.
business. I got a
Mhm.
lot from the group.
Good, and that's what it's about,
Yes,
right?
because do you still meet with you?
I do. I do. They like me.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, Kelly
Okay.
Questions will be on my channel and we're gonna kind of talk about solo travel. But
Okay.
Oh, good.
sometimes I'll have my accountability sisters pop up. I'll go on their channel. We do a little something, something.
Okay. Kelly
Yes.
Questions is not Tampa Kelly, is it? With a new name?
Yes.
It is?
Yes. Why are you blowing up the spot? Yes.
It, I mean, I didn't realize it was a
Was that
surprise. My
I don't know
bad.
that she wants. I don't know that she
Oh,
wants that connection, but yes.
my bad, girl. My bad. I didn't realize. I
Fine.
didn't realize. I thought you just renamed your channel.
Zolani will also be on my channel either later on this month or next month. I'm just shouting out people. Um, Brown Girls Invest 2
yes?
D. I'm gonna try to get D to be on my channel. She talks about finances so you can get ready to move abroad. But I've met some amazing women in the community, and I mentioned my accountability group because I don't remember which Exodus Summit it is, or I don't know if you do it every Exodus Summit, but we have accountability groups based off of the sessions. And so I want to say this was Move Abroad Money. So one of them was
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. There's another one. There's a
Two.
writing group that I'm in. But there's
Money.
all different kind of little writing groups. So the Exodus Summit community is massive. I think we're at like 19 or 18,000 people. So
Mm-hmm.
people have separated off into little hubs. So you can, if that number is
Yeah.
overwhelming, you can find your tribe. You can whittle it down to
Okay.
find your little group.
Question for you.
That's
Since we are going to do the accountability groups again this year, or the salons, the breakout rooms again this year, what is a salon, a breakout room you would like to see?
Not the pen and paper. Oh my God! Don't put me up. Oh my God! I don't know. I don't know. I
well,
mean, I think
Girl,
I'm
come
trying to
on.
think one that helped me. One that helped me was Jessica. I don't know how to say her last name, but she's a writer.
Convien.
Yeah, she was
yeah.
amazing.
Did she host a breakout?
Um, she hosted a I wouldn't say
She
breakout room. I think she did the pin, not the pin power. She had something. It was a class. She did a class. She offered a
did
class.
class afterwards. Yes, she did
Yeah.
class soon after the summit.
Adelia, Picky Girl Travels the World, does money management. She has a good. She gives a lot of good tips. So I would like to see her host something.
Yeah.
You're talking okay. So
What?
you want a breakout room about writing?
Just, I mean, because
No,
I
no,
said
no,
what
that,
helped
that was
me
not
in the
judgment. I'm
past.
trying to take it from Jessica taught a class to the question I asked, which is what breakout rooms do you want? I'm just trying to
It's
transition a
good.
slot. You want one about writing, one about
You give
money?
class, and I mean, you give a prompt, or you have somebody write a pitch. Hers was on travel pitching. So you can do a breakout room about travel
Mhm.
pitching. Like, say, listen, give me your pitches, I'll evaluate them. Write out, you have 30 minutes, write a pitch. Really, you really shouldn't take that long to write a pitch, by the way. Um, I think that is a good skill.
Right.
I feel judged. I feel
Can
judged. These are my
no,
recommendations.
Nobody's judging
we
you.
did ask you, right? We did
I
ask
was
you. So
asked.
can I tell you a salon? Don't feel attacked. This is
Well,
sister to sister conversation, okay? And
mhm.
do you have? I don't know if you have sisters, but listen, this is pretty civil for sisters.
I have
um,
sisters.
what
I have sisters.
what we've been asked for was a session on or a salon on traveling or moving abroad with pets.
Oh yeah, I could do that. Oh, am I volunteering?
Okay,
Like,
I heard a
yeah,
volunteer right there.
I was too late because I already wrote it down.
And that's how we trick you. We ask you one question and then confuse you. Ask a different question. Boom, bam, you're in.
oh,
Done.
it was such a broad question. I just started thinking about what would I like to watch.
No,
Not even
it's,
it
it's
had nothing to do with moving abroad. It was just like, listen, I'm a writer, and I always need help with my money, always. So I immediately was like, that's what I would watch. But
okay.
yeah, I could talk about traveling with my pets, which was a hot mess, but we love them now,
Yeah,
and I've learned a lot of things.
Okay. Well, you don't
good,
really
good,
have
good. So,
for the people who are in the salons, you don't actually have to like teach anything. It's more like hosting a room with your friends. Just hosting a room with your friends. And so you'll get in the room, maybe start some conversation, but there's not much work for you.
no,
Sounds good.
yeah,
I
we'll
like
holler at
that
you.
not much work part.
I know.
No,
I know. I know.
Jennifer Hillard
let's
has a
work.
question. Said less work as
Yeah, let's work in this
I
right
think
here. Yeah.
exactly. I think I would be a good teacher. Everybody thinks because I have glasses that I'm like some kind of professor, but I hate children. But I think I would be a really good teacher.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Anyways, I was gonna read this question. How do I connect with Exodus Summit members when they are preparing for my move? So she's planning a trip to Mexico City and Costa Rica.
Easy. Join the Exodus Summit Facebook community. We out here. Join the Exodus Summit Facebook group, exodussummit.com/community. Join us. And then you just holler at some women. You can search and see who's already in the place you're going, or you can create a post and say, I'm here, I'm going to dinner at this restaurant on this date. Who wants to join me? Right? It can be that simple. It can be that easy to meet women inside of from the Exodus Summit community all over the world. And they're
Mhm.
awesome. Or you can look for an event that's already organized, go to the events tab, maybe an event that's already organized, and you can hop in on it.
I second all of that.
Mm,
And I
yeah.
checked the nails. People I know are in the chat. I just want to remind everybody to like the video. Please leave a comment if you're here. Black people, we speak when we come into the room. Say hi. Say hi. People who I know, be nice.
And also, can you drop your link one more time to the summit, Keyoka? Remember that
Yes.
Keyoka's link to Exodus Summit is an affiliate link. She will get a commission. So she's made this amazing community, this space for us. So this is a way
Mhm.
that you can thank her. Come to the summit, use her link. Now
Mhm.
you're, done some two things, one thing for yourself and one thing for someone else. And your day is done.
Yes.
Right?
Your day is done.
Your day is
Um,
done.
yeah, so the summit is like, it's around the corner. What's confusing to me right now, y'all walk with me for a minute. Every day that goes by, we're one day closer to the summit. And that's at this point not how I think time should work. But I can't do anything else with it. So we keep getting closer and closer. And we're so excited about it because this year, I feel like this year within our fifth anniversary is gonna be really, really special. Well, no, our fifth summit, not really our fifth anniversary. Anyway, fifth time we're doing it.
Oh, I had a meltdown about the fifth anniversary
Yes,
thing not
that's
too
why
long
I
ago.
moved on.
You had to explain it to me. Right.
We had
She
to
had to
move on.
explain to me the fifth year and fifth anniversary. They're two different things. It
Oof,
was a
child.
whole thing. Okay.
Not a
I couldn't get
meltdown.
it. I couldn't get it.
Our fifth year, not our fifth anniversary, it's our fifth year. And we're very, very excited about it because people are gonna, it's gonna change life. Every year, Exodus Summit changes lives. And every year, we don't really get to see it. We get to see it kind of on the back end. But you guys who are in the audience making connections and community, you guys get to really see it happen, right? You get like Diamond was in here and saying that she found her community through Exodus Summit. And I know she'd be going on vacation with them all the time. And I'm like,
Diamond is always outside. Her and
okay,
Candace, I'm always like, where are you going? Where are you?
but
When we went
but
to South Africa and they were like gone for a couple months after that,
Diamond was gone for a while. Candace was gone for a while.
I
Yeah.
love to see
Okay,
it.
so
With
Exodus Summit
they be
wouldn't
hanging
be
out
outside.
with
They've been hanging out with
Mhm.
who? Tell on them.
Rashida. Rashida. So Rashida's friends came to the meetup. Diamond and
And
Candace stole
in Marrakesh.
and hang out with them all over the world.
Mhm. My friends who aren't even in the Exodus Summit group, they came to Marrakesh, and now Diamond and Candace be with them, and I'm like, I don't even hear from them. I don't get invited on these trips. But see, what had happened was my friend who wasn't part of Exodus, and this is the beautiful thing about Exodus Summit. My friend who wasn't part of Exodus Summit was like, I need a vacation. I was like, oh, come with us to Marrakesh. We got some tickets, whatever. And someone said something. I think Stephanie must have asked me like, who is this? And I was like, you ain't got to worry about it. She's gonna make a friend. So I just knew when she got there, she was gonna be okay. They made friends, I think, before they made it to the hotel. Something about going to the store and the shop and the this and the that. We saw the black women and then hugs and love and whatever. All I know is they're not even my friends anymore. They're Diamond stole them. But the fact that they saw black women and were like, "You here for what I'm here for? Cool." And we go together now, and it's like 2 years later, and they're still together. I'm like, I can't even be mad. I can be a little mad, but I'm gonna get over it. I'm gonna get over it. I'm gonna get over it.
That's how
It's
it
hard
is.
to make new friends, so we take them how we can get them.
Yeah.
I would say it's hard for some people to make new friends as we get older, but there are a lot of women in Exodus Summit where if you show up in their space at all and they can see that light in you, that's your friend now. Good luck. Good luck. Casey's one of those people, one of the friends. Diamond Soul, I knew she was going to be okay because Casey's like, I see you. I like you. And now we're together forever. And that's how I made friends with her on a group trip. And that's how Diamond took her from me on a group trip. And the cycle is going to continue. Diamond, I'm warning you. How you get them is how you lose them. Just,
What's that mean?
no, for real. Like there's so many women in the community where like if you're an introvert, an extrovert will grab you and like say like we buddies now.
Yeah. No, I
And
can attest to that. I was not looking for friends. Was not looking for friends. Have there have been several times, especially during an in person meetup, where I was sitting by myself, um, and someone sat next to me and talked to me, or I was coming out of the elevator and people wanted to hug me. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but it's just like, you know, you're kind of doing yourself. You're kind of doing your own thing, and then all of a sudden people are like, "Hey," like they know you, and you've never
yes.
met these people a day in life in your life. You've
Are these
never met them.
people who might see you talking online on the internet?
That hasn't happened yet.
You don't think. You don't think that's happened yet.
That's
But I'm
because I've
sure someone
avoided the Dallas
meetup.
meetup.
I'm sure someone has met you at one of these meetups who is like, I know your face. May not say it, but knows you from the internet.
There has been. There has been a fellow
Mhm.
writer actually. But yeah, so Exit Summit is a great place to meet your people,
Mhm.
especially if you attend an in person meetup, right? Which can be a little intimidating for shyer people, but it's always a good experience. I'm always happy when I leave.
Good.
That's right.
Yes.
Good.
That's right.
What have you gotten from attending an online, like the actual summit in the past, that you want more people to have or to experience, or you wish more people experienced?
So, two things. One is mindset, right? So, this idea that I could live somewhere else outside of the US was such a foreign concept to me. I couldn't
Right.
believe that there were women doing it. Um, so, there's a belief that it's possible. And I think that does leaps and bounds for yourself, right? Because you can say, well, this person did it. I have proof that at least one person has done it. And with Exodus Summit, you're going to have like a bunch of women who have done it. Like even in my comment section right now, there's people who live in Spain. There's people who, people are outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mindset, but then also there's a practicality to it. So it's not just I believe that I can do this thing, but here are the tools. Here are some tips. Here are some steps that you can really take in the place that you are right now, right? Because, you know, the US can be a lot, right? So you as your stressed out self, you as your overworking self, as your tired self, can come to the Exodus Summit and people can meet you where you're at, right? The speakers can give you tips for
Mm-hmm.
where you are right now and then teach you how to transition, right? So if your goal is to, maybe your goal is to just travel long term like mine was, right? To Nomad for a little bit. I got steps to take to be able to do that from Exodus Summit.
Yes. Yes.
I give
And you
good
did
answers,
it.
man.
You got
Oh
the
my
steps
God,
and you
absolutely.
executed.
Exactly, and I executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that Exodus Summit has created this sort of like each one teach one kind of world where like you're out here talking to women who you'll inspire to do very similar things.
That's right.
And it's, you get to be somebody's role model, even if you're reluctant.
That's
No,
right.
but really, I've had people reach out to me and say like, Like especially with Albania because I was there for 6 months. A lot of people are like, I'm going to Albania, where should I eat? I'm going to Albania, what's the culture like or what's the dating life like or whatever it is. And even to be able to help people in that way has been beneficial to me to say like, listen, I had this experience, I think you should do it too. Here's some tips. Has been really great for me.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Good, good.
A
You're not doing
leader.
that in the inbox though, right? That's on YouTube, not in your inbox, right?
No, that's on Instagram.
Mm, she not.
Inbox.
Mm-mm,
On TikTok. I've had
mm-mm,
people reach out on
mm-mm.
TikTok. What are you talking about?
No. For
Answer those
free?
questions publicly. If you're gonna do it for free, do it publicly and create some content.
Thank
Yeah.
you for your advice. I will take that into consideration.
File that away and
You can now actually book a one-on-one consultation with me if you click the link in my YouTube description box, and I'll put one in the description of this video if you want to chat with me about Albania or travel and etc.
that's amazing. Okay, but so you're telling me my options right now are to book a session with you, or ask you the question in my DMs and you will answer it anyway.
I will not answer any more questions in the DMs as
Okay.
of now. As of right now, I will not do
Zalani
that
said,
because
Zalani said you messing up in the comments. Messing up. She said, get it together.
we don't do it for free. If everyone could like the video, that would be amazing.
Yes.
Please use the link in the comment section to get your Exodus Summit tickets today. As you see, you are building community with us. We are in community right now.
Yeah.
We were brought together from Exodus Summit.
Yeah.
Book. Yes, actually, I do have a book. You guys. I mean, yes, buy the book. Buy the book. But this is not why we're here. We're here to talk about Exodus Summit. So, but thank
It all
you.
goes together. So you are fruit of the Exodus Summit tree, I think. We take the credit. I don't know how
Yeah.
much of the credit we deserve. It doesn't matter if it's 2%, okay? We take the credit, fruit of the Exodus tree, okay?
Yes.
So it all works in together. Thank you.
When did you write the book?
Yes. I wrote the book this year. I'm talking about my experiences traveling as an introvert, traveling by myself solo. I give a few tips on if you're somebody who gets social anxiety, I give a few tips on how to navigate that. Some of the things include finding places to hide, taking taking naps. I'm a good proponent. I'm a supporter of naps. So you can get that. It'll be someone actually wants the link.
Mm-hmm. More than one person.
Oh, thanks, guys. I'll put the link in the comments. Thanks so much.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
But I'm going to double back with what my question was. If you wrote the book after you attended your first Exodus Summit, it's our book too. I
How did I knew
and
we
we
were going to get here?
right now.
Yes.
Now, if it
Technically,
becomes
yes.
like a New York Times bestseller, I'm going to need my cash. But for right now, we just need a little bit of credit, a little bit of like, this is an Exodus family book.
Do y'all
Exodus
hear her?
family.
Exodus family.
Do y'all
It's
hear
an
her?
Exodus family. Yes. It's our book too.
Thank you, Keyoka, for that.
Thank you thank you for being part of the writing arm of Exodus Summit.
Yeah, there's a huge writing arm.
There's a lot of people in the writing arm of Exodus Summit, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we have a lot of writers in the community. I have some questions here. So I didn't ask if there was something I wasn't supposed to ask. So I'm just going to ask things that I want to know.
No, go for it.
Okay. If we don't want to answer, we'll just pass. How's that? Do we need to practice? Do we need to practice, Roshida? One, 2, 3.
Pass.
Okay, thank you.
We got it?
Well, hopefully we won't pass on any questions.
I think we did.
So we'll start off with some softballs. All right.
Okay.
So what are some places you guys are excited to travel to in the future or to go back to So either new places or repeats. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a copywriter.
I this is the first year where I've taken a vacation and told myself if if A plus B times C equals 24, I'm going back on the same vacation this year or next year. Like, done. The Ritz Carlton cruise and going to Fiji, the minute I can get that back, done. Without Fiji for me was very much like I live here now. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, those are travel experiences I would like to experience again very, very soon. And normally I don't mind. I repeat places a lot. Um, but normally I'm like, yeah, it was fine. I can go back there. Like when I go to Puerto Vallarta, I stay at the same resort and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. No big deal. But these places, like I was there, like, when can I come back? When can I be back here? Why am I leaving? Like, why am like the way we waved to that boat when we were walking across the parking lot, leaving to go to our cars, the way we were waving at the boat and the people on the boat were waving at us to say goodbye. I was like, this is breaking my, it was like, I think like sending your kid off to college. Like, we're separating after all this time. Why? Why? So now I'm an empty nester until I get back on the boat and I get back to Fiji. So,
It was incredible. It was incredible. I'm
mhm.
looking forward to Vietnam early next year. Uh, for the second time, I'm looking forward to, I guess it'll be technically the third time getting back to Vietnam. I'd like to add a new thing, a new place, but I don't know what new place. Since I'm in
Mhm.
Costa Rica, it makes sense that maybe I should visit Colombia. I haven't been to Colombia at all. So
Mhm.
that would be that's something I think I would like. And maybe like Bogota, Colombia, like up in the mountains, someplace
Mhm.
pretty. But yeah, but the same answers as Rashida. Looking forward to getting back to Fiji. Looking forward to getting back on a yacht, on that Ritz Carlton yacht. Do it again, right? Let's run it back. When you
Run
find
it
something that you
back.
like, it's really nice to do it
Yes.
again and again.
I love Bogota, by the way. So if you ever go, I recommend. Bogota was
I'll,
nice.
I'll holler at you. I'm not going to do like Candace and Diamond and then go and not tell you. Thank you.
Thank you. I
I'll holler.
appreciate you. Or can we even say Aunt Katrina? Aunt Katrina go somewhere she wasn't supposed to go this year?
Katrina,
She sure
I
did.
stay
She
out
stole
Katrina's
Sri Lanka.
business.
She,
What'd you say,
she
Keyoka?
stole it from me.
I said I stay out of Katrina's business because she's always outside. She's always in the streets.
Yes. She lives outside.
She lives outside.
Lives
She's outside
outside.
right now. I don't know where she is.
She down the street from Stephanie.
She
She's
in
in
Costa
Costa
Rica?
Rica.
Hmm.
She is.
She probably running
Uh-huh.
somewhere. Probably running uphill as we
Can I
speak.
tell you, when we were in South Africa, Katrina and I, we stayed after we left Cape Town and gone to Johannesburg. Katrina and I were staying, I want to say like 30 minutes from each other. How I'm walking, I see someone walking towards me, just walking towards me, just
That's how
walking,
she
just
is.
walking, just walking, just walking, just walking. And I get my camera out because she don't see me. I, I'm filming her. She's in my face before she's like, hey, and I'm like, girl, I don't know how we ended up passing each other. Of all the people I could pass in Johannesburg, in that big city, we don't even stay close to each other. Like literally like 30 minutes apart. And we ended up both on our walks crossing each other. I said, okay. She's that outside. The one time I go outside, she's there. She's outside working, walking on it. I said, oh, okay. Living her
And
best
This is
life.
Exodus Summit
hilarious.
success story. The
Yeah.
Exodus Summit trees. I started my YouTube channel for Katrina. I started my YouTube channel. I knew 8 women who I thought, I want her to quit her job and travel. She was one of those women. Katrina, Charmaine, my cousin Kim, right? She is she's a success story out here living,
Mhm.
right?
be outside, always somewhere
I love
new.
to see it.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I love
Going
to
to
see
places
it.
you've
I
never
love
I
been
see
before.
it.
Stephanie, I've never been to Sri Lanka. Katrina was in Sri Lanka. Like, I think I live here. I might stay forever. So, until that rain came. Outside. No matter what country you're in, you'll find
Outside.
it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, we finally get an invitation.
Diamond says that, but she always says it and then never invites us. So like, just ignore it, girl. She just typing words. She just typing words. She just because half the time I don't even know that
I
they're
got
getting together because none of them tell us. So how is that an invitation if I don't know till you're already there? Or if they send, or they'll send
Mm.
a photo. They will text me a photo, and I'm like, if you want to get stabbed, just say that. You won't have to not invite me and then send me a photo of the vacation you didn't invite me on. It's fine. Exodus ladies, I love it.
And
Around the world. Go do your
and say
thing.
you're invited.
Go do your thing around the world. Just don't send me the photos.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Put it in the
Put it
larger
in the,
Exodus Summit group.
don't text me directly a photo of you on the vacation you didn't invite me to with my friends at my friend's vacation home that I've never been to. You see, there's a reason for all the hostility. Sorry, I'm gonna drink some water real quick.
She needs to take a breath. Like, we went from
This is
namaste
community
to
building. Maybe this is the downside of community building, right? Jealousy. You might get a little jealous when you build community too good. You did too good of a job,
Good,
Rashida.
good. I'm gonna find a way to break them. I'm gonna start spreading rumors. Diamond, guess what
Start
Candace
spreading.
said? Woo! Okay,
reel
so
it back in. Reeling
reel it
it
back.
back in.
You gotta reel us back
Reel
in.
it back
We're
in.
gone.
Are
We're
there
gone.
are there any more countries that you would not go to? No repeats, would never step foot there. Terrible.
Uh, I won't be in Vietnam with Stephanie and the Exodus meetup this year because I do not enjoy Vietnam. And I know that I do not enjoy the big cities of Vietnam, but small town Vietnam I don't mind, and they are going to small town Vietnam. But to get to small town Vietnam, you often have to go through big city Vietnam, and I just don't have it in me again.
When you say
Yeah.
Exodus meetup, is there like an official meetup?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm minding my business.
You do know. It's just like any other, just like the Dallas meetup, Keyoka, just like the any other, just like the
Oh, but
London
not
meetup where we
like
met. Not a ticketed event with both of us there. Just a meetup. It's just a regular meetup, but it's happening in Hoi An, Vietnam, Hoi An slash Da Nang, Vietnam, late February 2025. If you're inside the Exodus Summit community, there's no event there yet. I'll make an event so that you can see it. Yeah. I don't want to go back to Australia, but it was more about the people than the place. Australia was awesome. And it's like the upside down, where everything looks familiar and then there's something crazy. So I was in Perth, and in Perth, in a nice neighborhood, looked like any neighborhood in the US, and except that on the front lawn, there's just kangaroos on the front lawn, right? And the birds in the trees are parrots and parakeets in the
that
trees,
sounds
right? Um,
good.
it's crazy. It's amazing. But the people are the worst, so I'm not going back.
Worse than
Right?
Germans?
I got my pick. So Australian people are just so racist and awful. Germans are rude and maybe neurodivergent. I think the entire country is neurodivergent. They're
That's
just
you know what? I hear that.
that's
I receive
Germany.
that. I can see that.
That's Germany. Australian people are bad people. Okay, there's a difference. German people, they got rules, and they're short with you and curt. But Australian people are just bad people. I'm not going back there.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And you know, I have to ask this question because on my channel we talk about this. Are you guys dating? Do you have any interest in dating? Hate.
Pass.
Who's going first?
I knew this was gonna happen.
Uh,
I wrote it down, and I knew that this was going to happen.
Unfortunately, I'll answer this. Unfortunately, I date men like an idiot. And so I also don't really like them all that much.
It's quite
It's
burdensome.
difficult, Keyoka. It's hard.
Yes, I
It's
understand.
hard being 50 and having experiences with men. I miss being 20 and not really knowing what men were like and not knowing how terrible they are, right? And then it was all good. Dating was like, oh, sure, I'll go, right? But now I'm 50 now. I don't know if y'all heard. And so I've got a lot of experience behind me with men and a lot of like, why would you do that to yourself? So that's the answer. No, I'm not. I'm not open to it, I guess. I haven't said all that. I'm probably open to it, but I'm not pursuing any relationships at the moment.
And I would say that because I live in a country where I'm not local, and because I'm not fluent in the local language, most of my encounters with men, like the most of the time that I see men communicating online in any space, is online. And the men that are online are either the worst men in the world, like bottom of the barrel, or men, the quality of men has deteriorated over the years. And I'm not sure which one it is, but I don't like the look of it. Right? Like you're younger than us, Keyoka, so you don't remember being in the club in the 90s. But like this ain't what the streets are different. The streets are different, and I don't like the way they're different. I just don't like it. And so as someone who dates men, um, I don't know what my options are
Yeah.
That's fair.
besides not dating. Because here's the thing, like
Hmm.
at this point, I'm too old for you to stress me out, right? Because like, and my life is too stress free for you to stress me out. So if you come
Exactly.
into my
Too
life,
Yeah.
melanated, hair popping,
I just
sleeping through
what
the
are we
night.
doing? I sleep through the night.
I sleep through the night. I have my edges. I
I
still have
have
my
my edges.
moisturized. I'm
Not a
hydrated.
lot of
Oh
lines
my God.
going on. So you can't show up over here. I think also as we get, like, just being really transparent, as we get older, the appeal of being in a long-term relationship for women tends to go down, right? Because like
Yeah.
you get married, who's most likely to leave if somebody gets sick? It's the man, while the woman sticks around and does the caretaking.
Mhm.
Who's men being married extends the life expectancy of men and shortens it for women. What is the upside?
Yeah.
Truly, what is the upside? I don't I don't see it. I'm not saying it's not there. With like the right person who you are like wonderfully enmeshed with, I see that there's an upside, but most of the women I know aren't finding that person, right? Or like when they tell me about their stories, I'm like, girl, that sounds like prison. What's going on? Like, what's that?
Indentured servitude.
What's happening here? So yeah, I don't know. I am not of the opinion that all men are terrible. I just don't know where the good ones are. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I also
Um,
okay, so I want to take
what?
some responsibility here too. I do not live a lifestyle that I think is attractive to most men, and I have to own that. I'm not going to change it, right? But like I this year I've been on a 8-week vacation, a 10-week vacation, and a 6-week vacation. Most partners probably want to be with you for most, like through July, I'd been home in my bed, or August, I've been home in my bed 30 days. Most people probably want to see you more than 30 days out of the year. I own that, but I'm not interested in changing it for anyone I have experienced thus far in life. So, Mr. Right, if you're out there and you're watching this and you're like, that lifestyle sounds great to me, or you wouldn't have to change a thing, or I'm the right guy that you'll change for, you're not. But if you think so, let's talk. Otherwise, I'm owning it. It's like the lives we lead aren't what most of the men I encounter are looking for. They want to know, do you cook?
I think I came up with the solution, and it's the farmer slash chef, right? It's a very specific man. He is a
Okay.
farmer, and he has his
Okay.
own like farm to table restaurant. He knows he can't go anywhere. I can't. He knows he is stuck. He is staying home, and
Like
he's
a
like,
juice
"Good, you
box.
go. I'll be here when you get back."
Now,
Built
you
like a
know,
juice box.
I do love a chef, but I'd never considered a farmer chef. This is
I think he has to be tied to the land. We
okay.
gotta tie him to the land.
Mhm.
Gotta
That
be
way,
rooted to the
he's gonna be a
ancestors.
You got to
And
be
he
tied
doesn't
to the
want
land
you to work
so
the
that he
land with
can't.
you. In your
Say it
story, he
again.
doesn't want you to work the land with him or cook the food for the farm to table restaurant.
No,
Okay.
no, because he's a chef.
Okay.
No,
You ain't got to do none of that
he just
food prep.
wants. No, he just wants to set the beautiful table, and then you sit down and eat the food.
I'm there. What's his name, sir?
We're gonna keep. I got to do my Googles. Let me do my
It seems
Googles.
very specific, doesn't it? It seems very specific. Can we amend this to he has a vineyard in the south of France?
Okay,
Okay.
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 Or Italy? Can we write it down? All right.
Vineyard.
Okay. I like it. I
Okay,
like
got
that.
it.
I could stomp a grape or two for the 3 days I'm home.
Yes. Let's see it.
Okay.
Okay, so if you got anything out of that discussion, Rashida's DMs are open.
They are. They are. This
Rashida's
will be great.
DMs are open. So in the off chance that there's a man watching this who fine, because we're just not accepting everybody, who's willing to cook and only see her sometimes, hit her up. Stephanie, you could probably slide into Stephanie's DM. I'm
Oh,
speaking as their representative. You could probably slide into Stephanie's DMs, but you gotta have game. You know, like we want somebody who
yeah,
has a little bit of game, a little bit of coin. Okay, you heard them
and a
talking
yacht.
about going on the Ritz Carlton cruise, specifically a yacht.
Yeah.
If you have a yacht,
Uh-huh.
we
Right.
want you to go into the DMs now.
Okay. You also need to have some patience because Stephanie's not going to see your DM for like 3
Okay, the
months.
list is getting long.
So,
The
I'm so
list
sorry.
is getting long.
Yeah.
Persistence.
Okay,
Yes.
Persistence.
persistence.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think I have messages for Stephanie that are still unopened, unanswered, unread in our Instagram exchange. So don't expect to get a reply.
But keep trying. If you're
But keep
in
trying.
line for Stephanie's DMs, stay in line.
First and say, hey, just kidding.
What did you say?
I was gonna say hit up Roshida first and ask if she has Stephanie's number.
No, for real. I have to say, people do this all the time. Don't do that. That's why I was like, what'd you say? Really don't do that. People will send Stephanie a message and they know she don't check her DMs, so they send me the message for me to relate to Stephanie. Don't do that shit, because now I gotta block you. What are we doing? What are we doing? Don't do that.
I don't like the turn this
I
conversation
don't
has
like
taken.
violence.
If it's
Can we
work,
go
Yes.
back to make?
reel it
Can we
in.
go back to being man of diamond?
Oh, Stephanie, that's not your fault. It's people not like email her. She has a work email address. Don't the answer is not to DM me about getting in touch with Stephanie.
Yeah.
It's not. I promise you.
Yes.
She don't respond to me half the time. But I don't. What we gonna do?
So
Anyway, back to Exodus
who's
Summit.
DMing Keyoka?
Who's DMing
Mm,
who?
Can we one more?
mhm,
Can we do one more? So who's you? So
yes.
Rashida, I think the farm to table or the vineyard owner, right? The chef or the
Mhm,
vineyard owner for Rashida. We want the yacht owner for me. Who's DMing
mhm.
Keyoka?
I like men with accents who have a little bit of coin and are built like juice boxes.
What kind
Straightforward.
of
What kind of
Straight up and
accent?
down?
Wait, which big shoulders. Huh.
Oh, okay.
This is the
yes,
okay.
girl. Every time she says it,
Okay.
I'm
I'm
like,
with
man,
it.
that's not, that's not it.
Give me another.
Yes.
Give me a different.
They just
Give me
look
the
like, and
different.
they
Because that's SpongeBob. SpongeBob is not box.
tall though. I mean,
All right, so Kelly, are
We'll
y'all
come up
talking about
with
men tomorrow? Kelly said tell them to tune in tomorrow. Are y'all talking about men? Do you like Albanian men? She said you like. She snitching on you. She said you like Albanian men.
Albanian men, their builds are a little bit too slight for me. Um, but they do look attractive. Like they have nice faces and they have like jet black hair and kind of olive skin. Um, so they kind of look Italian, but they're a little small.
that.
A little on the small side. So
You
I
still
don't really
haven't
like
told us
that. I like somebody who could pick me up.
which accent do you like, so
Which
we know what to
accent do
start
I
with.
like?
Uh huh.
I'm just a girl. So any accent.
Every
Uh,
Zolani said
Some that
everybody has
sound
that
different.
accent. Okay,
everybody has.
girl.
Lonnie said it.
She's a Brit. She would say that. She's a Brit. I'm talking about obviously not, but you know what? I could do like a country twang. I just like people who sound different. I don't like is it like the
Okay.
Midwestern accent where they say things like Kurt? I don't like that accent very much. They're like, like Glorilla, like the
Hmm.
way Glorilla talks. I don't really like that
Mm.
accent.
That's very specifically Memphis.
I
That's
think
she's
that's it.
very
I
specifically
think that was at
Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
Is that
Okay.
Memphis?
Like
I thought that was
Okay.
like
she's very specifically Memphis. You don't even Nashville don't even sound like that. That's Memphis.
so everybody except Memphis can
Yeah.
get to my
Not
Okay,
DM.
every
Memphis.
time.
Got it.
Let's reel this word.
Not Memphis.
Don't write
Okay.
that down.
Okay.
Don't write that one down.
Okay.
Anyways, I
Oh.
wanted to get back on track. So, is there anything that you want to leave us with? If you if you're speaking directly to somebody who the idea of travel, the idea of moving abroad is so far from their minds, they don't see it possible. What would you say to that person?
If you have a dream or a desire, it's in you for a reason. That dream or that desire, it's there for a reason. Go ahead and explore that. You don't have to already know how things are going to work out to come to Exodus Summit. In fact, it's really helpful if you don't know. You can be open. Some of the sessions can give you better like direction, better ideas. Um, don't let your dream or your thing die. Put some effort into it. Get some coaching, get some community, get some support. That's what Exodus Summit is for. It's online October 10th, October 11th through the 14th. Go ahead and get your ticket. Keyoka's link is here. We, the women of Exodus Summit, including a lot of the women in this chat today, um, are examples of what can happen. We're no more deserving. We're no different from you, right? We're women who had jobs, had pets, right? Had homes, had cars, had bills, had responsibilities, had families, had parents, right? And still we got out. We're able to live out of the country. We hope that you'll join us there. Thank you.
Yeah. Ditto. So that's it.
You just clocked out. You clocking out.
You will know. You will see my face when I clock out. I'm not clocked out, but she just said it so beautifully that there's nothing else for me to say.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on my channel. I love having you here. I love talking about Exodus Summit. I'm Keyoka, the Opera Black Nomad. Please like the video. Please comment if you enjoyed this discussion. If you are interested in travel and you want to know how to do it, please click the link in the comment section and in the description box and get your tickets back to the summit. Join us tomorrow. 1 p.m. Central, and I'll be talking to Kelly. We might talk about dating. I don't know. We're gonna stay on track to talk about solo travel.
Kelly
But
said
thank
she
you
talked
guys.
about dating, so good luck.
I know, good luck. I know. You can't hold a good woman down. But I appreciate everybody for joining us on this discussion, and I appreciate you guys, Stephanie and Rashida. Thank you so much for coming. Peace out.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much.